name's Joey and welcome to my tour of props and artifacts. Now today I'm going to show you my screen used costume from Torchwood Miracle Day episode 7 as worn by John Barrowman, Captain Jack Harkness. So as you can see, the shirt buttons on my shirt have popped. I shall explain about that a little bit later. A thank you here to Nick for making it possible for this jacket and the rest of the costume to come over here. So the coat itself, the overcoat. So the overcoat was made for filming in California. It's a very, very lightweight material, which, having said that, all of Captain Jack Harkness's overcoats can be very extremely lightweight anyway, because of the way one can roll the sleeve up your arm, which you wouldn't really easily be able to do in a genuine World War II RAF overcoat, which we know his isn't a genuine RAF overcoat. But anyway, still an amazing coat, as we know. So the overcoat itself is very, very lightweight, made for filming in California. One of the things I notice about it, in putting it on today, I noticed that the coat naturally bows out this way, how it's been worn. There's a natural kind of bend in the material there, which of course is the gun holster. Brilliant. So during filming, when the coat's been worn, it's been resting on the gun holster, and of course it's created this proper bend. Now, this coat has been in storage since the filming of Miracle Day, which was a good 10 years ago. So it's actually very creased as well. So, you know, it needs a bit of extra TLC to it. So things I notice about the overcoat, which is great, is during filming, we've got a button there, which has got a massive dent on it. So God knows how that happened. The actual original belt at the back was missing, so I replaced that with basically the material this is made out of. This is very similar to the material that a lot of RAF dress tunics are made of. So I literally got myself a very, very large dress tunic belt and reattached it to the back. So it's a shame the original belt is missing, but that's just the way it goes. Let's have a look on the inside of the jacket itself. So this is a lovely little detail. This says exclusively hand tailored for John Barrowman, Naples, Italy. Now the funny thing is about that label is now it's technically canon, because now you know what that label says. There is a scene in Miracle Day where John Barrowman takes off his jacket and you see that label. So now technically it's canon to have yourself a Captain Jack Harkness coat with the word John Barrowman written in it. There you go. We're just gonna throw that one out there. The other little label in there is Di Stefano. That's the people that made this coat. As you can see, it's got that very, very dark purplish reddish lining, which we see in Miracle Day. Now, the reason my shirt buttons have popped is because they were put on very, very loosely. Now, I imagine this was for a passionate scene of John Barrowman's shirt being ripped open, because I know he mentioned, the character of Jack Harkness mentioned he'd love to rip the shirt open of the guy he was romantically involved with. So I wonder if the idea was for it to happen back to him, because these have just popped with no effort whatsoever. So in actual fact, I need to get them re-sewn back on. I mean, just look at how bad they are. Look, they are. Look at that. That's terrible. So I can only assume that it's purposeful, so that if you just, there's absolutely no restriction at all, it will just pop. So I imagine that's the whole idea behind those. So well, that's the first thing I noticed about the shirt. They were very, very loose. The shirt cuffs are very, very strong. They've been done properly. So I imagine that was a bit of a inaction that never actually happened. So another thing about the actual jacket. Now the funny thing is, I treat this like a baby, but they clearly didn't treat this like a baby on set, because as you can see, we have two massive holes cut in the middle of the action pleat. Now I can only imagine that is for some kind of harness work. So you could put the harness on the back of him. And I'm imagining the beginning of Torchwood, Miracle Day, there's a bit where he runs away from an explosion. So I imagine there was probably a bit of harness work happened there. The great thing is that when the coat is shut, when the action pleat is shut, you can't see those holes. Now what's very interesting is, as well, the back of the lining has ended up sticking to the wool of the coat. That red patch there is actually the reverse of this lining, as you can see there. And at one stage as well, a very rough piece of rectangular material has been spray glued to the back, because there is a there's very faint traces of that, and the back of it here is slightly sticky, so the glue has obviously got less and less, thank God, otherwise the back of this coat would stick to my back. What else? So there's a couple of tiny little holes in it from filming as well. Look, we've got one here now. I don't know if this is a burn mark or it's genuinely cut on something. The bottom of the skirt there, look, we have a hole there. That's the wear and tear of filming. And there are some sharp abrasions that seem to have happened on this arm here, but fortunately it hasn't torn all the way through it. So that's the jacket. The overcoat. It's funny, isn't it? You keep calling it a jacket. It technically is an overcoat, and I'm sure most of you know, but the whole reason an overcoat is called an overcoat is because that was the whole idea. The whole idea was it was warm and big enough to go over another coat to keep you warm, which of course is why Captain Jack Harkness's coat isn't really an overcoat, because whereas it has the same properties, it will go over another overcoat. Thank you very much. Do you mind just keeping it down just a little bit? Whereas it won't go over. You saved me, actually, because there's too many times I'm using the word overcoat here, Mr. Crow. Anyway, so whereas an overcoat is made to go over a coat, this has the same properties as an overcoat, but it doesn't have the same properties in the fact that it's heavy. It's not heavy to keep you warm, and that's what keeps you warm, is the weight of. And I was expecting the Crow to say overcoat. Overcoat. Anyway, the trousers. The trousers, you will notice through my popped shirt, is very high-waisted, typical of the 1920s, 1940s. This is because the clothing in this outfit is from episode 7, which is the scene which was set in the 1920s. And on the inside of the trousers is a very faded label that says Vintage Jack. So that's pretty much it. I'm wearing the Webley with this because basically that's the only part in Miracle Day where he is carrying his Webley, which is set back in the 1920s. I think, as I used to famously say, that is about it. Yes, I think that's it. That's my Torchwood Miracle Day costume. Mainly purchased because I wanted the overcoat. Ever since I worked for... So when I was 14, I was given an army overcoat, and I still wear them now. I just love the style of them. I love the style because they look Victorian, and there's something great about them. I stopped wearing an overcoat when I used to travel to work on the train because it used to get in the way. When Torchwood came back, I thought, do you know what? I really want my overcoats back, and that's what started me wearing them again. So Captain Jack Harkness's overcoat has always been a bit of a holy grail for me to actually want to own one. I got the chance, little thanks to somebody called Angelina there, I got the chance to wear the original Torchwood overcoat from the first series, and that was amazing. And when I used to work at the Doctor Who Experience, the only thing I would love to have had from there would have been Captain Jack's overcoat. So when this came up in auction, when there was the chance to actually own this, I jumped at the chance. It took me 3 days to actually think, you know, shall I part with the money, that kind of business, but I love the fact I did. I never look back. This is absolutely amazing. Even the Crow agrees with me. So yes, it's very cold as well. It's 0 degrees out here, 0 degrees, so maybe I should get back inside. But thank you for having my brief tour of John Barrowman's overcoat and John Barrowman's outfit. Now to find a good dry cleaner so I can get this shirt sorted out. They're not the original braces, it's not the original belt. The only original stuff here is the shirt, the trousers and the overcoat. Anyway, be good to yourselves, look after yourselves, and I shall see you all soon. Trying to turn the thing off. Bye!